Hi, welcome once again. My first motor vehicle was a 1957 Mark II Zephyr. No one would ever say that one of those vehicles was fuel efficient, but we filled it up with gas just on a regular basis. In fact, I can remember being in 7th Street in Oamaru, and the Shell station there had a coin operated pump that you could put 50-cent pieces into, and we used to fill the car. And of course, many of us will remember the oil shock of the 1970s and how that radically changed not only motor vehicles but the way that we use them. So not only have motor vehicles over the years become far more efficient, but of course now we are recognizing that fossil fuels are not good for this planet, and there is a great race on to find an efficient fuel source that we can use to continue living the lifestyle to which we've become accustomed. We're coming into a season of Pentecost, and one might say, well, what's fossil fuel got to do with that? Well, maybe it's a time for us to consider what fuel energizes us, what keeps us going, if you like. Jesus talks about food a number of times in Scripture, mostly about bread or about water, the basic building blocks of the diet of the day. In one particular passage, the disciples just didn't seem to get it. John 4:31-34. Meanwhile his disciples urged him, "Rabbi, eat something." But he said to them, "I have food to eat that you know nothing about." Then his disciples said to each other, "Could someone have bought him food?" I'm sure they wondered, where did he get his food from? Who bought him lunch? I thought we were going to the shops to get it. But there's far more to food in a spiritual sense than the bread and the water that one needs to take on a daily basis. My food, said Jesus, is to do the will of him who sent me and to finish his work. And that food is the food from heaven. Pentecost is a time when we remember God sending to us his very Spirit that would dwell in us, that would energize us, that would carry us through those times of difficulty and those times when we didn't have energy of our own. That the Holy Spirit would give us words in season, that the Holy Spirit would give us the encouragement. Holy Spirit would give us the opportunity to speak of Christ to others. And like all food, like all fuel, it needs to be internalized. And that when we are full of the Holy Spirit, that we can then go out into the world and spread the good news of the saving grace that is found only in Jesus Christ our Lord. At Pentecost, the Holy Spirit came upon the disciples who had been waiting in obedience to Jesus' command. While he was with them, he declared, "Do not leave Jerusalem, but wait there for what my Father promised, which you heard about from me. For John baptized with water, but you will be baptized with the Holy Spirit not many days from now." And out of that obedience came an infilling of the Spirit. And when the day of Pentecost had come, they were all together in one place. Suddenly a sound like a violent wind blowing came from heaven and filled the entire house where they were sitting. And tongues spreading out like a fire appeared to them and came to rest on each one of them. All of them were filled with the Holy Spirit. They then were bold and went and changed the entire planet to the glory of God's name and to the coming of his kingdom. I believe that you watching this video today is part of the journey of God trying to get your attention. He wants to refuel you with his Spirit. He wants to give you that peace that passes all understanding that only can come from Him. He wants to energize you. He wants to give you life and life in abundance. That comes from being refueled with the very Spirit of the living God. The Spirit that came to the church on that very first Pentecost. The Spirit that was there at the start of creation. The Spirit that led Jesus in His ministry. The Spirit that has come to us this day. If you would like to have what those first disciples received and what millions of people have received over the centuries since then, pray this simple prayer with me. Jesus, I come to you now. I acknowledge that you rose from the dead. I acknowledge that you are sitting at the right hand of the Father. I recognize that I have let God down, I have let others down, and I've let myself down. And I apologize for that, and I turn away. I want to live the life that can only come through you. And I ask for you to forgive me, knowing that your promises are true, that you indeed offer complete forgiveness. And I receive that today. I ask that you would fill me with your Spirit, that I can live a life focused on you, empowered by your Spirit. I thank you that you have come to me this day, and I invite you into my life. If you have prayed that prayer this morning, either subscribe to our YouTube channel, write to us in your comments, or find us on Facebook or at www.motuekaanglican.org.nz. We would love to continue this journey with you and to support you and to help you and to pray for you. We look forward to hearing from you. May God bless you, and may favour rest on your household this day and forever. Amen.